Here's where we start to see applications of dot product. We're going to use the dot product. It's part of a formula that allows us to see the angle between two vectors. And that can be useful for us. So we've got, on this page here, you'll notice that we have u as the vector, 5, 2. That's this one right here. It's hard, there's no grid right now, but there's a grid on your notes that you might be viewing with PDF. And then v is -6, -1. So we've got these two vectors. We want to find the angle between those two vectors, and this formula helps us out with that. This is one version of the formula right here, but the more helpful version of the formula, the one that's going to be more ready-made for just punching it into the calculator, is this. Keep in mind that we do want to have our calculator in degree mode when we do this. With all of these things in this chapter, we want degree mode. But we want to estimate the angle that's between these two vectors. Now, one thing that's important is that it's going to be the smallest angle between these two vectors. So if we're looking at this picture, it's this one right here. It's not the other way around. So these angles are going to turn out to be 180 degrees or less. It's not going to be a larger angle than that. If it's larger, then it's going to go the other direction and be less than 180. So we have our two vectors. We've got to plug them into our formula. We're trying to find missing angle, the angle between those two vectors. And so we do cosine inverse, and we just start plugging some stuff in here. We got dot product on the top, u dot v. So 5 times -6 plus 2 times -1. That's going to go on top. On the bottom, notice that we have the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v. So we're going to use our magnitude formula, which we have done a lot of times now. 5 squared plus 2 squared for the first one, and then -6 squared plus -1 squared for the second one. Getting a little crammed in there, but I think you can see it. We simplified just a little bit. We don't need to do too much there. We don't need to go crazy because the calculator is really going to do most of the work for us here. But then that's going to be on top of -32 over square root of 29 square root of 37. You could go nuts with simplifying this, but it's not really all that necessary because we're just going to punch this in. Again, keep in mind that we're in degree mode. I've got my calculator all queued up here with the formula plugged in. And so just to verify, we got degree mode, and then we hit enter, and then it tells us that it's about 167.7. So we can just round that to about 168, and that's probably good enough for now. That is the angle between two vectors.